Okay, today I'm up on Dartmoor at Saddle Tor. I'm going to come up and it's very windy, so hopefully you can hear me over the wind. I'm going to go down to the nature reserve, try and get out the wind a little bit. Hopefully I can find a composition down there with the building and everything. I have researched this a little bit. Then I'm going to go over to the stone stack with the little hawthorn tree, and we'll go over there and have a look, and then just wander around this area. What I'm doing is going to look for a sunset shot a bit later on, and then I'm staying as it's meant to clear up later, and hopefully it clears up enough to be able to shoot the Milky Way at these same locations. So that's what we're going to try and do. Anyway, I'm making my way down. So I've parked the van up in I think it's the North Saddle Rock or Saddle Tor car park. I mean, you can probably see it there behind me now. That's where it is. So we're not very far from it. Okay, so this is the top of the nature reserve, and this is where this little stone building is. Hopefully you'll be able to see it in there on the picture, but I'm hoping I can get some sort of composition from the other side and put the Milky Way in here. I'm not sure what it's going to be like. It'll be interesting to see, but it's definitely got to be something here. I do see pictures in the spring when the bluebells are around. This has quite a lot of bluebells growing, but as you can hear, it's pretty windy, which is annoying, but hopefully I'll be able to find a composition, because the Milky Way is going to be looking sort of that way. So I'm hoping to find somewhere where I can get a composition for the Milky Way later tonight that includes the building and the trees. But I need the wind to slow down a bit, because obviously doing a long exposure, everything's going to be really out of focus, because it's going to be moving so much in the period of time it takes me to do it. So a bit of a pain, but that's just part of it. So we're there, something like this. That's roughly where the Milky Way is going to be later. That wouldn't be a bad shot just there. Okay, I've now moved over to Saddle Tor. I'm just going to walk up Saddle Tor and try and get a composition of the whole of the Tor, and then because I know the Milky Way will be behind it tonight, so hopefully we can get some sort of composition of it from a distance, and then I'm going to go up on it and see what kind of view we've got from the top, and then hopefully that's where I'll do the Milky Way tonight. But there is a little stone stack I know, which has got a hawthorn bush that's growing out of it. It's quite a common photograph that you'll find taken up here, which I might go over for the sunset, because it looks like we might have a half decent sunset tonight. And then hopefully it doesn't work for it. I know it doesn't work for the Milky Way, so shan't do that there, but I'll come back and do the Milky Way on Saddle Tor. Then I'm going to make my way over to Tor, the other side of Dartmoor. And that one there's got a church up on the top of it, which is very famous as well, that I'll do a shot of. With the Milky Way behind it, I think that'll work there as well. So I'm just walking across this bit longer grass, just trying to find a position to see if it'll work for the Milky Way tonight and where I need to be. It's not going to be a good shot to take now because it's shooting right into the sun, but I'm just trying to find the right place that I can take the shot from, that's all. So, and then hopefully we can find a composition for that. Okay, yes, I can get the whole tour in at 24mm. So I will come and do a night one there. It's not very far from the van. So that'll be my last night shot I take. And then the Milky Way will be dead above it. But it's, at this time of year, it's straight up in the sky. It would look really nice with an archway over it, but it doesn't line up for an archway, so we can't do that. So I'm going to walk up to the top now, try and find a sheltered bit out of this wind where I can set up later and do the Milky Way shots, because I want to get my tracker out and track the Milky Way and do at least 20 1 minute, 1.5 minute shots of the Milky Way, and then I can blend that sky in to the other pictures because it's so blowy. Any long exposure tonight, everything's going to be blurry. All the vegetation's going to be blurry because it's blowing a hoolie up here, as you can probably hear on my microphone. But it's not very far to walk. I'm nearly up there now already. It's only like a 5-minute walk from the van to get to the top, so I don't think this wind's going to ease off. The sun sets in about an hour and a half and it's clearing up. We haven't got that much cloud in the sky now, so there might be a bit of a sunset because there is some cloud still on the horizon if that stays. So what I'm going to do is go up here, check this out, and then go across to these other rocks, which is only about a 10-minute walk. Have an explore over there and see if there's anything over there for a good sunset and possibly another night picture as well. So, right, I'll be at the top in a minute. Okay, well, I'm thinking I might do a sunset here. Hopefully you can hear me. It's blowing a hell of a hoolie now. Pretty strong wind, but it's a massive view. This is on top of Saddle Tor, so it might be a good one for the sunset later. I've walked across from Saddle Tor, which is what you can see. That's the rocks. Behind that is another tor that I'll put the name up as well. In the far distance. I'm not sure if this little formation of rock that I've come over to has got a name. If it has, I'll put that up as well. But there is some other little rocks here that I'm going to explore and see if there's a composition there for a Milky Way later. Whether I can get something out of that. And then I'm going to go down to the tree, and the hawthorn tree, and probably do the sunset from there. I'll just see where I think the sun's going to go down and see if we're going to get some colour in the sky, because we're pretty blue now. There is still some cloud on the horizon, but it might not be that good and that impressive. And if not, then I'll walk back up to Saddle Tor and we'll do a big vista of the sunset from up there. Probably do that as a panorama short sort of shot. Okay, right, I'm going to have a quick walk down here and look at these rocks, see if I can see anything there. But I think definitely going to do a Milky Way just down at the bottom of the Saddle Tor, where all that nice formation of rock is. That will work, it lines up with the Milky Way later, sort of like 1:30 tonight. So I'll definitely do that one. Okay, I'm over at the tree and the rock, the hawthorn tree and the rock. I'll put the name up on the screen. Waiting for the sun to go down now. You can see that's my setup. So I'm shooting with my R6 Mark II, and I've got the 24 to 70 lens on, and I'll put the settings on the picture when I take it. So hopefully we'll get a bit of colour in the sky, but there's not a lot of cloud left now. It's still pretty windy, but that's the sort of composition we're looking at. And then once I've got this one, we'll go back and take and start getting the other stuff and do the night shoot here. Got some ponies here as well. So I've taken a few pictures of the ponies. Proper Dartmoor ponies, 3 of them here. One of them's quite friendly, came up and had a stroke. But yeah, it's very hard to see because you've got the dynamics of the sun. Hello, all right mate. So these two are having a good old prune together, look. This is this scraggly looking one was the one that came up and saw me, but they're having a good old scratch together, enjoying their getting out the wind a little bit here. I can't really do a Milky Way because the Milky Way would have to be something like that, because that's where the Milky Way will be, and you can't really incorporate the stone to it. And I mean, yeah, it's not a bad shot, but there's plenty of trees around that I could do that with. All right, you can't have my camera. You can't have my camera. That's my camera. No, don't gnaw it. No, no. You can't have my camera. You can't have my camera, mate. You are a friendly one, aren't you? Hey? You're a friendly one. You are, but you're too friendly because I don't trust you. You might have a go at me in a minute. Hey? You just like being stroked, don't you? You like being stroked. Hey? You got to move on. Your friends are going now. Okay, so that's the sun just gone down behind the horizon. It's not sunset yet, it's another 10 minutes or so, and hopefully some of that sky will start to light up and we'll get that in the shot. But it's I'm going to have to bracket this because it's pretty dark here now. This camera won't show it, but it's getting quite dark here now, and that is going to make it that everything will silhouette it. So I'll bracket it and then I should be able to bring back some of the shadows then. But yeah, not a bad sunset. Could have done with a bit more fluffy sky, but it's definitely better than what we had. You can see it's starting to pink up, a bit of redness coming and whatever right on the horizon. Hopefully that'll look quite nice in my shot. Then we'll walk back, and I think I'll get me tea, and then we'll come back out when it gets a bit darker and get me foregrounds and then do the Milky Way. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. Still bloody windy. I'm now walking back onto the moor from the car park, going to find the composition that I found earlier. which might not be very easy because it's pretty dark out here now, and it's but I should be all right, I think. I'll find it. Just got to find the path somewhere here. Anyway, I'm walking towards Saddle Tor, and we'll hopefully get the right place. I'll get set up and then I can show you my setup when I get the first one picture. I'm going to be using my, I think this got me somewhere along here somewhere. I'm going to be using my 6D Mark 1, which is Astro modified. I'll get some long exposures of the foreground, then when I've got that, I'm going to climb up to the top of the Saddle Tor, so we're ready to then hopefully I can put the tracker on and get the Milky Way, the sky. Right, okay, I'm going to turn this light out because I can't see where I'm going, which is lighting up me so you can see where I am. And when I'm set up, I'll show you my setup. Here we go, across here. Alrighty, see you in a minute. Okay. All right, I've got where I want to be, so I'm now just going to set up the tripod, get the camera out, and then we'll come back to you. See if we can get this picture. But hopefully you can see my setup for just doing the foreground. So I've got my 6D Mark 1, which is Astro adapted, in other words, all the filters took out. So, and then I've got a Sigma 24mm 1.4 art lens on the front. So it's all set up to take a wide angle shot of the whole of Saddle Tor, and then I've done a 3.5 minute exposure, which I can use for the foreground, and then I've done 15 second shots. I'll put the settings up on the screen. I'll stack those together for the Milky Way, and then blend the two together. So that should work out pretty good. Okay, right, I'm going to just pack this down now, and I'm going to walk to the top, and then I'm going to set up my tracker, and I'll show you that setup when I'm doing it, and get it all aligned, polar aligned, and then I'm going to do some Milky Way shots, probably about a minute long or something of that nature, and then track them, and then so I can stack those together and get a cleaner Milky Way shot if I want to use it. Right, I've put my tripod where it needs to be so I can see the North Star. I've leveled it up with my leveled-in head. That's key to get it very level. So I'm now just going to attach the tracker, and this goes onto the tracker. This is what my camera will sit on. So we'll get this, just screws it into place like that. So that's my tracker in place, and then I've got a Z bracket on top. So we undo that one and we bring that up so that's something like level. And then on top of that I have not a ball joint, it's just a 2-axis fit in, because I don't need a ball joint because I can rotate on it rotates around, and it also goes up and down, and that's all I need to get it lined up. So what we need to do now is put the laser on. So I got the laser. Okay, so we thread the laser, which is the laser pointer, which is going to point at the North Star to get me all lined up. So before I do that, I'm just going to check that I am level, which I'm not perfectly level, so let's get that perfectly level. Just a fraction out. That looks better. I think that's as level as I'm going to get that. And then we'll know when I take my first shot whether it's level or not. So now what I've got to do is turn the laser on, and that will shoot us a laser up into the sky, and then you might be able to pick it up, you might not be able to pick it up. And then what I've got to do is adjust the up and down and left and right until I am on the North Star. So we need to go up a little bit. So I've got to just turn this one up. So that's going up to about there for now, something like. This is to turn it left and right, so that's pushing me into line with it, and then I'm too high, so we just come back down till we get that on the star. That's it there. Just got to come down a bit. There it is there. Now lock it off. So it's nice and locked, and it just needs to go over a fraction more, and that doesn't look bad at all. Right, that'll do for a minute. So we can turn that laser off. You can only use the laser if you can't see any aeroplanes up there, because it would blind them. Right, so I now got to attach my camera up onto the top. So what we do now is we'll bring the Z plate back level, and we'll get my camera in and we'll get it all lined up. So what we're doing now is I'm going to go portrait. So I'm just locking that onto there. I'm going to go portrait with it. I found that other screw, so I can put that back in. It was in the bag. So that will just lock that into position. Once it goes up tight, it shouldn't move then both ways. There we go. So we'll just check that I've got good alignment. A minute. Just make sure. Now I've put the weight on of the camera. So we just got to move that out the way a bit. Turn the laser on. Beautiful. Straight on the star. That's good. So everything's all aligned. So finally now I've got a spirit level up on the top of here. So I now turn it until that bubble is middle, like so, and lock that off. And then do the same on this axis, on there. So that is there. That's everything nice and level. So all the last thing to do is now just line it up with the Milky Way, and on top of that get my composition I want, and then I'm ready to go. So I'm going to get that done, and then I will take a shot and see if it is all in focus and no trailing with the stars. And if there's no trailing after a minute, I'll do a 1.5 minute just to check that it's good, and then if it is all good, then I can then set it to take probably 20 shots at a minute, more than likely, and then I can stack those all together and we'll have a very clean shot. I'll put the settings up on the screen, what I set it at, when I've worked out what the best is for tonight. Okay, cheers.